Welcome to Sports Bias with Cleveland J. I am Cleveland J. Sorry, I love that song. I love that song. That's why I picked it. So welcome. It is Thursday of Super Bowl week. We only have 3 more days. Is that right? 3 more days to the big day. Big game. Made a prediction last night on my other show, The Pastor and Professor. And, you know, I had the Mean Joe Green as my number 1 commercial last night. So being a Browns fan, having a Steelers as my number 1 commercial is tough to swallow, but it deserves to be the first one. And so I've been thinking this whole time that I was going to root for Joe Burrow, which I have done over the last several weeks, being a Buckeye and all. And yesterday it occurred to me that the flaw in that is that the result of that is the Bengals hoisting the Vince Lombardi trophy. That I cannot handle, being a Browns fan. The thought of the Bengals having a Super Bowl title, I hope I do this show again someday. This is the top 10 performances and a Super Bowl loss. I hope I get to include Joe Burrow on this list because I just can't. I can't. Sorry, Joe. I'm sorry, Kevin Trigg. I can't root for the Bengals. Sorry, all my Ohio friends. I can't do it. I'm sorry. Can't do it. 34-30 Rams. My prediction was that Matthew Stafford would leave the Lions, win MVP, and win the Super Bowl. Hopefully I get one of them right. So, excuse me. So, we have the top 10 performances in a Super Bowl loss. This was fun to kind of research. It was hard to research. I had to go a lot on just my memory of games I've seen. I went back and watched several games, not complete games, but a lot of plays and highlights of shows, and read a lot of accounts of what other people were saying to come up with this list. And there's 20 of them. And we're going to get started right away. It's going to be a relatively short show. Remember, tomorrow we have live Knockin' Noggin Super Bowl Happy Hour Trivia. So we are still looking for some contestants. So if you want to play along with us or play with us live on our Zoom call, it's going to be safe. I promise I won't embarrass you. It's just going to be a lot of fun. It's high-octane fun. You're going to sweat a little bit. You're going to laugh a lot. Your stomach's going to hurt. And for the people that are watching, they're going to get a big kick out of it too. It's entertaining. You'll be able to play along at home with a score sheet and so forth. Excuse me, that's in my throat. I've been talking a lot this week. It's hard to do this many shows in a week. So we are going to get started with the top 10 performances of all time in a Super Bowl loss. Number 20. Number 20 is by the losingest Super Bowl quarterback ever. Tom Brady, Super Bowl, I forgot which one it is. Yeah, 52. Yeah, losing his quarterback in Super Bowl history. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to leave it like that. That's number 20. Number 9. I'm sorry, number 9. That was the top 10. Sorry. He should be 20. Should be 20. All right, I'll go back. I'll be fair. He threw for 500 yards. I will say this, not, people know that I don't like Tom Brady. But, and as most people are sick of seeing the Patriots and the Buccaneers in the playoffs. And so this is, talking to people, people are really excited about this game because it's something different. So that's fun. But he threw for 500 yards in this game. He did throw did fumble that cost them. But, watching that game, he had all those yards, but it didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like he was just controlling and dominating that game, even though he threw for 500 yards. That's ridiculous. But, if I'm wrong, let me know. I'm sure there's people watching this that watched that game only from a couple years ago. And it just, yeah, it didn't seem like he dominated the game. If you look at those stats, you would think, oh my gosh, this is the greatest game a quarterback's ever played. It wasn't. It didn't, I don't know. They didn't have much of a running game. They also had probably the best receiving core they've ever had for him. So there's that. I wasn't going to spend that much time on Tom Brady. Number 9 is the only MVP in a loss. Chuck Howley from the Dallas Cowboys in Super Bowl V. The Colts turned the ball over 7 times. 7 times and 2 interceptions by Howley, and they still won. Should have got some water for this one. Two interceptions and 7 turnovers overall for the Colts, and somehow they still won. But Howley was named the MVP of the game. The only time a person in a loss, a player in a loss, has won the MVP. He comes in at number 9. Number 8, Larry Fitzgerald. I remember this game for many reasons. Larry Fitzgerald just seems like he was like everywhere. And every time they needed a big play, there he was. He had waited a long time. He's had a long career, waited a long time to get this position. He made the most of it, and he put them in position to win. They were right there. He made a huge play to kind of seal the game for the Cardinals and their first Super Bowl, but they left too much time on the clock. And I will say that, me not being a Steelers fan, but that catch by Santonio Holmes in the end zone, I believe I was actually with Jason Felix watching this at his apartment in Chicago. That catch by Santonio Holmes was the best catch. It's definitely the best catch in a Super Bowl I've ever seen. I don't want to hear the David Tyree thing and all that other stuff. That Santonio Holmes catch was amazing with the game on the line. Yes, he's a Buckeye, so it was a great catch. No, that was amazing. I felt bad for Larry Fitzgerald because I really like him as a player and a person. I obviously didn't want the Steelers to win another one, so I feel bad for him. But he comes in at number 8. Number 7, Kenny Anderson, going in my own old division. Yeah, I remember Kenny Anderson a lot from when I was growing up watching the Browns games and watching them play the Bengals twice a year. I remember when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl being so disappointed. So disappointed that the Browns weren't there. But he had a long, great career. He was a good guy, good quarterback. He almost rallied them. They were down 20-0, I think, in that game, and he rallied them back. I believe, if I remember correctly, there was a goal line stance that the Niners made late in the game, late third quarter, early fourth quarter, maybe, that could have won it for them or put them over the top. I think the final score is 26-21, if I recall. So that could have won it for him. And even that they didn't score, there was plenty of time. He still almost brought them back. But they were down 20-0 at one point in this game, and I think it was 21-26. And he threw for 300 yards in this game. So I think this is Montana's first, I believe, and it's a young Joe Montana. And I think Montana only threw for 157 yards or somewhere around there, and he won the MVP. Kenny Anderson threw for like 300 rather, like 320 or something like that. So Kenny Anderson comes in at number 7. Number 6 rather. Kurt Warner from that same Super Bowl, Larry Fitzgerald, obviously. Again, he threw for 377 yards or something. Yeah, 31 of 43 for 377 yards, 112 quarterback rating, 3 touchdowns. But, they left time on the clock. Ben still had gas in the tank back then, obviously. And, I thought when he hooked up with Larry Fitzgerald in that play late in the game, I thought it was over. I was excited for them. And, yeah, it didn't happen. But you know, a great performance by Kurt Warner. He had a trophy from before with the greatest show on turf with the Rams. But yeah, that was a great game. That was a really great game. One of the best that I remember seeing. So, all right, that is number 6. Kurt Warner at number 6. Number 5. Number 5. This is one of the best game performances I've ever seen. I have it all written down here. He was everywhere. Robert Alford was everywhere in the Super Bowl, and everybody remembers the collapse because it was an unbelievable collapse by Falcons, which I was really excited about because I didn't want the Brady or the Patriots to win again. But Robert Alford was everywhere. I mean, everywhere you looked, he was there. I think this is the play where he took a pick six, like 80 yards or something to the house. I think that put him up like 21-0 in the third quarter or something like that. I know they're up 21-0. And I don't remember how big they were up late, but I remember watching that and just watching that team fold like I've never seen a team fold before. It was just unbelievable. Yeah, he had the 87 or 82 yard pick six. He had 9 tackles and a forced fumble in that game. But it wasn't not even that. His number was just called. He was everywhere. He was the player that just was going everywhere. That's the player you saw. They called his number all day long. It's a shame that that performance had to go to the wayside, especially against Tom Brady and the Patriots. Robert Alford, number 5 on the all-time list of best performances in a Super Bowl loss. All right, number 4. I don't even remember what it was. I don't remember. Oh, yeah, Jake Delhomme. Jake Delhomme in Super Bowl, I don't know, what was it, 36, 38, something like 38. Yeah, he had a great performance. That was a fun game, too. He was 16 to 32, 323 yards, 3 touchdowns, a 117 quarterback rating, one of the highest in the history of the Super Bowl. But they lost by a last-second field goal, 32-29. It was a great performance. There was a lot of great performances in that game. Again, they thought they had it won as well. In that field goal just that did it. But yeah, that was a great performance. I don't remember who actually won the MVP in this one. It was probably Brady, obviously. I don't remember his stats, but Jake Delhomme outplayed him that day for sure. So Jake Delhomme at number 4. Number 3, another one of those amazing defensive performances, like Robert Alford. This was one kind of out of the blue that Coney Ely had a ton of potential. People were frustrated with him. He was frustrated. Just couldn't put it all together. He showed flashes of brilliance, being a dominant player in this league, and just could never put it together. Except for that day. It's too bad they lost. He was everywhere. He had 3 sacks. I still think it's a Super Bowl record, at least tied. He was just a beast. Again, like Alford, he was everywhere. He dominated the defensive line. Just dominated it. You couldn't help but keep your eye on him because he was everywhere. Nobody could block him. He had a forced fumble strip and recovery. He had a red zone interception as well. It was just go back and watch that game and just watch him the entire game. It's just a thing of beauty on the defensive side. So if you want to watch 2 great defensive games, even outside of the Super Bowl, those 2 games, the Falcons with Robert Alford and Coney Ely in this game here, Super Bowl 50, 2 of the best performances I've ever seen. So those players came up big when they needed them. Unfortunately, their teams couldn't get it done. But that is number 3 on my list of top 10 performances in a Super Bowl loss. All right, number 2. What do we think number 2 is? Number 1 for me was really easy. I will say that. Number 1 was really easy. Number 2, also fairly easy. I knew it was going to be in the top 3 or 4 when I started putting my thoughts together for this show. But Thurman Thomas, I think this was their first Super Bowl, the 4 that they lost. He was great. He was absolutely fantastic. Again, the Bills just, I don't know, they had schlep rock or dark cloud over them. They just could not get it done. I know I'm going to have New York Giant fans coming out of the woodwork on me at that Andy Dubitsky. Sorry. The Giants deserve it. I'm not saying the Giants didn't deserve it. But Thurman Thomas was just an absolute beast. I think he had 127 yards, 135 yards and 15 carries. So 135 yards and 15 carries. He also had like 60 yards receiving as well. He had 51% of their offense. He was 51% of their offense that game. Maybe they should have made him 52 or 3, and maybe they would have won. But I was thinking back to last night's show with the commercials. which was at the end of this run. I believe this was the first one. I think it was 91, 92, 93, 94 was the run for the Bills. And the commercial they did for Snickers, trying to figure out how they're going to win, that they weren't going to leave the locker room until they figure out a win. It's their fourth trip here. We got to figure out a way to win. But I think about that and think about poor Thurman Thomas. He was a great back. People forget about him, but he was a really great back. I think the MVP of this game, and Andy Dubitsky could probably correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was O.J. Anderson. O.J. Anderson was pretty late in his career there. O.J. Anderson, I think he had 102 yards for like 95 carries or something. Something ridiculous like that. No, it was like, I think he had just over 100 yards, 20-some carries, and Thurman Thomas had 135 for 15 carries, and he had another 60 yards receiving. Great performance. But number one on my list of all-time performances in a Super Bowl loss, without question, is Terrell Owens. Say what you want about the guy. He's had a lot of criticism about him, his career, his life. But he was a warrior, man. He was an absolute warrior. He had absolutely no business playing in this game. The doctors said not to play. I don't know how it even happened. Like in today's game, there's no way they would have been allowed the player to play. He had broken his leg and tore his ankle tendon, or ligament rather, 7 weeks prior to this. He still had plates and screws in his leg. And I remember at game time him coming out, like people didn't know if he was going to play or not. And I mean, he was a warrior. 9 catches for 122 yards. And again, they were big plays. When they needed a first down, when they needed a big play, he was there. He was amazing in that game. And I'm not a Terrell Owens fan. I've never been a fan of his, but I gotta respect a game like that. He was just tough as nails. And his whole career he was. He had a lot of stuff happen, and complaining about a lot of things, but he was tough, and he was a great player. I think he gets overlooked because of all the negative about him, and obviously did get in the Hall of Fame. Wasn't at the ceremony, but did get in the Hall of Fame. I just realized that my mic is way over there, and I'm really hoping that you pick all this up, that I don't have to re-record this. So anyway, Terrell Owens, number one. I'll go through them real quick once again. That's not it. That's not the one I wanted. Terrell Owens. All right. So at number 10, Tom Brady, worst losingest quarterback in NFL history in Super Bowl. Chuck Howley, number 9, only MVP from a losing team. Number 8 is Larry Fitzgerald. Number 7 is Kenny Anderson from the Bengals. Number 6 is Kurt Warner, along with Larry Fitzgerald in that same Super Bowl against the Steelers. Number 5, Robert Alford, amazing defensive performance at number 5. Number 4, Jake Delhomme. Again, a great performance in a Super Bowl loss. I think 370 or 325 yards. Great performance. Number 3, Coney Ealy. Go watch it. He was everywhere. Coney Ealy at number 3. Number 2, Thurman Thomas. He carried those teams in so many different games. He definitely carried them that game, but the Bills just couldn't get it done. Number 2 and number 1, without question, Terrell Owens, Super Bowl 39. Again, if you don't remember it or you didn't watch it, go back. I guess you're not going to really quite get it because there was all the build up to the game and the speculation that he was actually going to play. And I remember watching like ESPN and things. There's no way he's going to play. People are just dismissing. Like he has metal plates and screws in his hand, or his foot and his ankle that they just put in. He's not going to play. I don't know what they shot him up with, but it was an incredible performance. To me, that was hands down the top performance in a Super Bowl loss. But that's it. That's all we have. I think that's the end of the shows this week, except for our live show tomorrow, our live Knockin' Noggin show tomorrow. Again, we're looking for contestants. Shoot me an email. Reach out on Facebook. It's going to be a lot of fun. I promise you it's safe. I won't embarrass you. You're just going to have a lot of fun. Your stomach's going to hurt. If you're a little bit out of shape, a lot of bit out of shape like me, you might feel like you've done like 100 sit-ups, so that could help. Of course, you might be drinking at the same time to counteract it, so forget that. But it is a lot of fun. I hope you join us. If you don't want to play, please watch if you're at home. It'll be good Super Bowl information you're going to see. That show we missed this week with the crazy facts and stats. A lot of that content's going to be in the show. It's just going to be high-octane fun. It's going to be funny. So just watching it will be funny. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed Super Bowl week. Remember, vote, 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 vote. The Ultimate Sports Movie Awards, the voting is open. There's several posts on our Facebook page now. I think the best supporting actor, the best male lead, for best male actor in a lead role is out now. Best basketball movie as well. And there's one more. I think there's 4 total out. You can vote for all the categories. We're going to kind of roll them out one at a time. So once you vote for best male actor in a lead role and submit it, you have a link. You'll have a link to actually do all of them if you want to. So share it with your friends. Start a conversation. People, if you have memories of watching these movies with people, or you really think we're way off base on some of the nominations or something that was overlooked, and first of all, watch the nomination show because we addressed some of that on there. And you'll see the starring role for my wife was actually on that show. It was a fun take. We have actually cut that out, and you can find that on our Facebook page and YouTube as well. But vote often. We are voting open until I think April 1st. The awards ceremony is on April 10th, live April 10th at 8 o'clock Sunday. And we're also looking for some presenters for that. So if you're interested in presenting on the awards show, let me know. Again, reach out on Facebook, reach out on email, and we'll go from there. I will see you tomorrow for live Knockin' Noggins. Go vote.